Current tensions between Russia and NATO are leading many to carefully assess this question and examine the current state of weaponry and technological sophistication of the Russian military, with a mind to better understanding the extent of the kinds of threats they may pose. Naturally, Russia's military maneuvers and annexation of the Crimean Peninsula have many Pentagon analysts likely wondering about and assessing the pace of Russia's current military modernization and the relative condition of the former Cold War military giants' forces, platforms and weaponry. Russia has clearly postured itself in response to NATO as though it can counterbalance or deter the alliance. However, some examinations of Russia's current military reveals questions about its current ability to pose a real challenge to NATO in a prolonged, all-out military engagement. Nevertheless, Russia continues to make military advances, and many Pentagon experts and analysts have expressed concern about NATO's force posture in Eastern Europe regarding whether it is significant enough to deter Russia from a possible invasion of Eastern Europe. Also, Russia's economic pressures have not slowed the country's commitment to rapid military modernization and the increase of defense budgets, despite the fact that the country's military is a fraction of what it was during the height of the Cold War in the 1980s. While the former Cold War giants' territories and outermost borders are sizably less than they were in the 1980s, Russia's conventional land, air and sea forces are trying to expand quickly, transition into the higher-tech information age and steadily pursue next-generation platforms. Russia's conventional and nuclear arsenal is a small piece of what it was during the Cold War, yet the country is pursuing a new class of air-independent submarines, a T-50 stealth fighter jet, next-generation missiles and high-tech gear for individual ground soldiers. A think tank known as the National Interest has recently published a number of reports about the technological progress now being made by Russian military developers. The various write-ups include reporting on new Russian anti-satellite weapons, T-14 Armata tanks, air defenses and early plans for a hypersonic, sixth-generation fighter jet, among other things. Russia is unambiguously emphasizing military modernization and making substantial progress, the reports from the National Interest and other outlets indicate. In addition, the National Interest's Dave Majumdar reported that Russian airborne forces plan 6 armored companies equipped with newly modified T-72B3M tanks. Over the next 2 years, those 6 companies will be expanded to battalion strength. While many experts maintain that NATO's size, firepower, air supremacy and technology would ultimately prevail in a substantial engagement with Russia, that does not necessarily negate findings from Iran's study released more than a year ago explaining that NATO would be put in a terrible predicament should Russia invade the Baltic states.